A very, very good morning, children. Right. Uh, in the previous class, you have posted me the solutions to the exercise problems. So before I proceed to the class, just I wanted to say one quote. Okay. I heard to Swamiji speaking to the IIT students on, in an auditorium. You know what is meant by auditorium? A huge hall where big meetings or some programs will be taking place. As last year we have celebrated our school day in an auditorium. Do you all remember that? Yes, yes. So in that he was speaking about mistakes. How many of us do mistakes? Yes, every one of us, isn't it? Even I do mistakes. Every one of us do mistakes because doing mistakes is nature. It's very natural that we make mistakes. But the problem here is we never like to be heard that we made a mistake. Means if somebody says that it is a mistake, we are not ready to accept it. But if we accept, that is called culture. So that's our culture. We are showing a culture to it, right? It's like it's a basic thing that we are supposed to have. For what? To be progressive in life. To be progressive in life. That means to grow up. So growth, the physical growth, that will be there always because mama will be giving you a cup of milk every day in the morning and evening, and then the breakfast and belly full of food. And then even in the period of quarantine, you'll be jumping on the sofas, chairs and all that. So you have some physical activity. Growing physically is of course possible. But here, growth, here in the sense like in our behavior, in how we take things, how we learn things, and how we understand others, how we implement them in our life. For small children, what is the growth means? So if you are going and learning something like football, like from a coach, if you really understand how to play the game, so that understanding comes only when you try and when you make mistake, and when the coach says that no, this is not the way, this is how you have to do. When the coach says that, if you accept it, then your growth begins. When you accept it, and the next step here is that you should not repeat that mistake again, right? So then automatically you start growing in learning that particular game. So everywhere in the life, so in the beginning when you started like learning how to bicycle, so there were some problems. Like you might have shaken like this, or you might have fell down, right? And then afterwards you realize like this is not the way that I have to go, I have to handle the bicycle in a different way. Then you learned how to bicycle. Now though nobody can beat you, right? Please don't go so fast on the roads. Safety is important. So now here, so what is the quote? Making mistakes is nature. Accepting mistakes is culture. And then learning from that and then not repeating the mistakes is progressive. Progressive means that which helps us in growing out, growing huge. See, you are all now very, very small children. Maybe who knows, there could be a CEO from this group, there can be a scientist from you all. So there can be a a great politician, there can be a great leader from you all. So here we are all to grow. Okay, so learning is the one which needs these three things, right? Making mistakes, no worry, no need to worry to make a mistake. If you are wrong, don't be worried, accept it, correct it, and see that that is not repeated again. Okay, see, I have seen your worksheets. In those worksheets, like few people have made some small mistakes. So most of you have reached to the final answer, but the way you have to put it in statements was a little bit not up to the expectation. Okay, not even like who are we to expect? There is a process to do what, so that whoever looks into your solution can understand it clearly. Okay, so now let us see, so today let us deal 3 word problems, and in this we are going to learn how to first understand the problem, then how to put it in words, like what is given to us, what is expected by the question to understand, and then how to come to the conclusion. Okay? Okay, so first let us use the information properly. So what is the question asked? A certain freezing process requires that the room temperature to be lowered from 40 degrees centigrade. So just let me double underline it. Right. At the rate of 5 degrees centigrade every hour. Every hour. Right. That means in every 1 hour, the decrease in temperature is 5 degrees. What will be the room temperature 10 hours after the process begins? After the process begins, what is the time given for us? 10 hours. So here there is a freezing system, it seems. Right? That means maybe in a factory there is a device which can freeze the substance. Freezing means, you know it, no? Like see a liquid which will become like a solid. That means when the temperature is decreased, see, you take some water and put it in like ice cube, whatever thing you have, a container, and put water in it, and then if you put inside the deep freezer, after a few hours you can see that that water freezes to become ice cubes, right? You all play with ice cubes. I know very well, because even I used to play like when I was of your age. So ice cubes. Now that is called freezing. So now a certain freezing process. So that process, that means like from liquid to solid, to become from liquid to solid, the process requires what it seems, that the room temperature to be lowered from 40 degrees centigrade. What is meant by room temperature? See, wherever we are standing, we are sitting, we are talking, like your classroom, even at your house where you are sitting right now, maybe it is bedroom, maybe it is your hall, right, or kitchen, wherever you are. So the temperature, the relative heatness that you are feeling at that time, or at this time right now when you are listening to this class, that is the room temperature. So let us, that is given to be, in the problem what it is given, that it is 40 degrees. So it's very hot. From 40 degrees at the rate of 5 degrees every hour. That means in every 1 hour there should be a decrease in temperature. How to understand that? First one is the starting temperature. What is that? Starting temperature. We call it as also as initial temperature. When the process has begun, what is the initial temperature of that? Right, the initial temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. So we understood this part, right? So it is given, right? So there is a process to go on, and the process has begun at what temperature? At 40 degrees centigrade. Clear? Right, that is the starting temperature. Now what has to be done in this process? So temperature has to be reduced. Like freezing takes place only when the temperature decreases. and even it falls below 0 degrees centigrade. Below 0 degrees centigrade. You know the meaning of below 0 degrees? We can't say like at 0, water starts freezing. Then slowly, even when you reduce the temperature, it freezes very quickly. So here, this may freeze below 0 degrees. So temperature should decrease and it should become very cool. So, right. Now, at 40 degrees, the process starts, and in every 1 hour, 5 degrees is reduced. That means reduced in the sense it is coming down. What are all these meanings mean? That you need to subtract this 5 degrees from 40 degrees in every 1 hour. In every 1 hour. That means suppose we started at morning 9 o'clock, this freezing process. So after 1 hour, what is the time now? 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, what should be the temperature now? So already started at 40. 1 hour is passed. So what happened? 5 degrees is reduced. So now what is the temperature now? 35 degrees. After 1 hour, what is the temperature? 30 degrees centigrade. Suppose if 20 hours is given, you can't just keep on sitting and saying that 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. No. So we have a process here to take the whole thing. That is how much time it is given? 10 hours. You can't write, see 9 o'clock here and then 40 degrees here and then again 10 o'clock, 35 degrees, 11 o'clock, 30 degrees, and like that you can't write this one here. See, if I ask such a question to a class 3 child, if he is smart enough to understand, he would do in that process. He would do in that process. But now we are not in class 3. You have learned something already, like repeatedly, if the same process is taking place, either addition or subtraction, what you are doing, the sum of that, the repeated process, you can use multiplication there, isn't it? So you have to add 5 degrees in every hour and then finally you need to subtract from this. Okay, how much total temperature, how much temperature it reduced totally. First we have to calculate that. In every 1 hour, it decreases by 5 degrees. So totally in 10 hours, how much? Repeated addition, isn't it? It is repeatedly you have to add how much is reduced, how much is reduced. Repeated addition means multiplication. So there is no need for you to go to your parent and ask like, what am I supposed to do here when 3 quantities are given? Nothing, you understand it. Then whatever you have learnt in your previous classes, put all the things together. Then you can apply. Okay, so in 10 hours, how much decrease in temperature? 10 into 5, 50 degrees temperature is reduced. That means from 40, we have to subtract 50. Okay, so now let us see how to write that in statement form. In statement form. Solution. What is the initial temperature? Initial, or let me write in the bracket, starting temperature. Starting temperature. So if you can pick up this word, it will be very good. So initial, that is starting temperature. What is this? 40 degree centigrade. 40 degree centigrade. Then next, what is the rate of cooling? See here, he said it is rate. Rate in the sense, especially in like whenever you see in the daily life, when you talk about the natural phenomena taking place, that means something like winds are. Like, so then in the news you will be hearing that like 70 km per hour speed or 150 km per hour, that much speed the winds are like coming from the sea, and therefore it is better that you evacuate the place and then go to a safe place. So this is how you will be listening sometimes, right? Rate here means time. Right? Rate in the sense time. So here rate of 5 degrees every hour. What is the time that is given? Every hour. So in every 1 hour, what is the decrease in time? 5 degrees. I'm sorry, decrease in temperature. So decrease in temperature. So this is the short form. Temperature in every 1 hour. 1 hour is equal to 5 degrees centigrade. Decrease in temperature in every 1 hour. Right? Every 1 hour. This is important for you to write. You just wrote it as decrease in temperature is equal to 5 degrees centigrade. No, this is not the final decrease, right? The process is going on for 10 hours. So you must be very clear about it. That in 1 hour, it decreases by 5 degrees centigrade, right? In 1 hour, it decreases by 5 degrees centigrade. So now what you should find out? Total decrease how much? In how much time? 10 hours. So total time given is? So total time is equal to 10 hours. So therefore, continuously 5 degrees, 5 degrees, 5 degrees. To find out this total, you need to add the same quantity repeatedly for 10 times. When you are adding same quantity repeatedly, there is another process in mathematics, that is multiplication. So you are not going to find out. So total decrease is equal to, total decrease is equal to 10 into 5, which is equal to 50 degrees centigrade. So 5 degrees here. So how many times you are adding 5 degrees here? 10 times to find out the total change. So therefore total decrease. So 5 degrees multiplied by 10, which is equal to 50 degree centigrade. So now you got the total decrease. So total decrease we got, but from where? From which status we are decreasing to that? From 40 degrees. So this word from itself, when you are trying to understand, these words will help you a lot. From, when you think like that, from where am I? Where the temperature is decreasing? From where? From 40 degrees. So you have to subtract from. From which one you have to subtract? From 40 degrees. So to know the final temperature, this is not the final temperature, this is the decrease that is taking place in 10 hours. Right? So in every hour 5 degrees is decreasing. So totally how much temperature is decreasing? 50 degrees is decreasing. Okay, from where it is decreasing, and now what is the temperature? Suppose initially 100 was there, 50 is decreased. So what are you now here at? 50 degrees centigrade. What did you do? So here you didn't think, your common sense said it, 100 minus 50 is equal to 50. But that is of course initial minus this one. Okay, so just listen to your mind. It will only show you the path how to solve the word problems. Final temperature is equal to initial temperature minus total decrease. Initial temperature minus total decrease. So what is the total decreased temperature? 50 degrees. So therefore 40 degrees minus 50 degrees centigrade. Whenever units are given, when you are dealing with the quantities, either in science or in maths, some unit will be specified. If suppose units are not specified, you have to just write it as units, units. But here the unit is degree centigrade. Okay, so now 40 minus 50. So 1 plus and 1 minus. Subtraction is taking place. So 50 minus 40 is 10 degrees centigrade. After subtraction, that is a difference. Which sign you have to put? Sign of the larger number. So it is minus 10 degrees centigrade. So what is the present temperature after 10 hours? So we started at 40 degrees centigrade. In every 1 hour, 5 degrees is reduced. Now the freezer is at what temperature? It is at minus 10 degrees centigrade. Very chilling. Yes, feel it. Then you will understand maths. Right? So minus 10 degrees centigrade. So therefore final temperature. So how you have to write there? For final temperature after 10 hours is equal to minus 10 degrees centigrade. Right? You can write on your own. Right? Final temperature after 10 hours is equal to minus 10 degrees centigrade. Let me come up with the mistakes that you people have done. See, somebody took it as the decrease in temperature as 5 degrees centigrade. Then afterwards they couldn't understand what to do. Then they only multiplied with this and 50 degrees. They wrote it as 50 degrees. 50 degrees centigrade is not the final temperature. It is the decrease in temperature that is taking place in the freezer. And from where we started, that is important. Okay, from where we started, that is important. So, initial temperature minus total decrease in temperature. So, therefore, 40 minus 50, which is equal to minus 10 degrees centigrade. Is that clear? See, nothing is there. How you think? The process of your thinking should be put in words on the paper. That's all. The process of thinking, how you are thinking, step by step you are thinking. So, like the freezer started with 40 degrees centigrade. Now, 1 hour is done, means 5 degrees is decreased. But how many times the decrease is happening? 10 hours. So, multiply it repeatedly because this is repeated addition, therefore you are multiplying 10 into 5. So, total decrease is 50. Now, what is the final temperature? The final temperature is initial temperature. From that you have to subtract 50. So, 40 minus 50 is equal to minus 10. I think even 1 or 2 children will be confused with this. So, forget this. Take 100 in your mind. Then and that sounds very much clear for you. At 100 degrees we started, decreased by 50. What is the final? 50 is gone. You are left with how much? 50. Right, suppose 100 you have taken. 60 is gone, 60 is reduced. How much you are left with? 100 minus 60 is equal to 40. The same thing is here. It's very simple. So, starting is 40, but the problem here is that children, you are still thinking that this is bigger number, this is smaller number, how can I subtract? So, now we are in class 7. So, ho gaya wo sab. Now we know negative numbers. We know how to deal with the negative numbers. So, therefore, 40 degrees minus 50 degrees, which is equal to minus 10 degrees because we have grown. Right? So, we started learning how to deal with the negative numbers. So, we started learning about how the values fall below 0. Right? Because on to the left hand side of the number line. Very clear. Right? So, please copy it down. Pause the video for a moment and copy it down. And next time try to do yourself like thinking like that. Okay, children? Okay, Shama, come on, carry on.